Are you curious about the mysterious world of Starbase and its mind-boggling upgrades? Get ready for an out-of-this-world experience as we dive deep into the secrets of the stage superiority transformation since Booster 9. This thrilling video will leave you at the edge of your seat as we explore the advancements and upgrades in Starbase. Unleash your inner explorer and join us on this epic journey through the galaxies. Sit back, relax, and be mesmerized as we uncover the secrets that will ignite your imagination. Don't miss out on this stellar adventure. Find out everything about this in today's episode.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my channel.
Sometimes, it is difficult to know objectively the pace at which Elon Musk's SpaceX makes progress. The advancements we're seeing at the company's Starbase site in South Texas are unprecedented. Swiftly, in a short period, SpaceX is now ready for everything on the new ship and the Super Heavy for the next orbital flight of Starship. It's been 3 to 4 weeks since Starship's second test launch, and Elon Musk has fulfilled his promise with the hardware ready for the transition to the third flight. In the grand scheme leading up to Starship's third test launch, SpaceX embarked on a transformative journey, not merely repairing and upgrading Starship's technology, but reshaping the very foundations of Starbase. Yesterday, a spectacle unfolded at the gateway to Mars. Here amidst the Martian dreams, a metamorphic battle reshapes the very landscape itself. In the midst of this bustling battleground, workers backed by an array of machines toiled tirelessly at the suborbital launch site, nestled in the western expanse of the complex. This ground has borne witness to every Starship test, every trial, and every triumph. Then a monumental shift, the gradual descent of Test Stand A, an iconic structure at the heart of the construction site, a silent farewell to a historic cornerstone of innovation, suborbital Pad A. Something new beckons to occupy the sacred grounds where this historic testament to progress once stood. The winds of change whisper their promise of a new era at Test Stand Pad A. Pad A, an indelible part of the suborbital launch site alongside Test Pad B and a smaller tank farm, has been the stage for monumental Starship testing operations. This sacred ground fueled the dreams of reaching the stars. Inaugurated in 2020, it witnessed the soaring triumph of SN5's test flight, elevating itself from humble beginnings as a small test pad used for Starhopper experiments. The thunderous successes of SN6, 8, 10, and 15 soon followed, painting the skies with their audacious vertical takeoffs and precision landings. Sun for a while now, Pad A, you've been the silent hero in Starship's saga, etching your mark in the annals of spacefaring history. But as the sun sets on this chapter, speculation looms large over your replacement. Will it be a new beacon of progress, an upgrade to the storied Test Stand, or perhaps a second OLIT? The winds of change murmur secrets as components of the launch tower migrate to Starbase. The air is thick with anticipation, the future hangs in the balance. The heartbeat of the tanks echoes the rhythm of SpaceX's relentless pursuit of progress. As they stand, these reservoirs aren't just holding fuel, they cradle the dreams of journeys beyond the stars. In the shadow of recent changes, utterances hint at a potential extension, a quest to put more distance between the roaring engines and the delicate tanks. With every launch, these powerful engines exact their toll on the tank's outer layers, leaving scars as marks of their unyielding strength. But what lies ahead? Will it be an expansion? A strategic move to shield these reservoirs from the thunderous force of the rockets? Again, the air is thick, but this time with speculation, and the future teeters on the edge of revelation. In the thick of this anticipation, SpaceX's tank farms take center stage. Horizontal tanks now stand steadfast, while the rumblings of innovation fill the air. The cryomethane pump system undergoes rigorous tests, dancing between dry runs and liquid-filled destiny. A breathtaking view materializes in La Padre's visual narrative, a symphony of sounds painting a picture of progress. The pumps rev and relent over the span of hours, a prelude to the grand design that SpaceX weaves. A heartfelt thank you to La Padre for capturing this mesmerizing spectacle. This visual voyage is just the beginning. A glimpse into the swift stride SpaceX takes towards their vision. Launch eagerly as the future unfolds before our eyes. Farewell, Starbase, the stage is now set in Florida to witness the grandeur of SpaceX's Falcon Heavy. The vehicles for the third flight are expected to be Ship 28 and Booster 10, both of which have undergone some upgrades, promising an excellent performance in the first quarter of 2024. On December 14, 2023, to complete the engine testing process before the next Starship mission, SpaceX kicked off this campaign by moving Ship 28 to suborbital Pad B to prepare for a possible static fire that could happen swiftly. Starship 28 has undergone 2 successful cryogenic resistance tests at Massey's before spending over 2 months on the stand at the Sanchez location to receive engines and upgrades. To be honest, compared to the Starship's second launch, I have much more expected in the third launch, not only because of the lessons learned, but also because Starship 28, being a prototype, has had technical improvements right from its inception. Stacked in March 2023, Ship 28 took just over a month to take shape. The main reason is that it was the first ship to be stacked with a new method. Instead of initially stacking 2 halves of the ship that are then joined together, they now stack it from the top to down. This allows the crane to remain attached to the nose cone throughout the entire process. Furthermore, welding robots only need to operate on the ground and not at elevated heights. This not only makes the structural framework of Starship more robust, but also saves time and human effort. Alongside that, Booster 10, Ship 28's companion, is also a factor that piques the curiosity of rocket enthusiasts like us. Surely, it's undergone upgrades, but only with time and multiple launches can one determine whether there have been any significant changes on the stage compared to Booster 9 or not. However, we have more positive signs that Booster 10's about to move. The booster transport stance swiftly enter the megabay to receive the booster, with the hot staging ring installed. Tests may quickly take place, such as cryogenic resistant tests, testing all 33 engines simultaneously, followed by static fire tests of all 33 engines before being flight ready. One of the promising tests for Booster 10 or Ship 28 might be deployed in the upcoming Starship road closure schedule, possibly on December 18th. However, there is a possibility that SpaceX will conduct additional cryogenic resistant tests with Booster 10 sooner, and perhaps with the entire stack due to recent upgrades they've completed at the orbital tank farm. Before reaching the next milestones, Booster 10 has now been rolled to the rocket garden, a space that occasionally serves as a parking lot or storage area for both boosters and ships. There's nothing too serious about this temporary pause as it occurs the pad and chopsticks are not yet fully ready for the booster or other flight hardware. Our anticipated hardware has already become a complete booster, and although it already plays the role of a prototype, the progress at Starbase continues to demonstrate advancements in construction and structural refinement. The rocket garden now features Booster 10 standing alongside various generations of Starship prototypes, showcasing significant progress from one iteration to the next. Among the various generations of Starship prototypes on display, Ship 20, which has never flown, is followed by Ship 31, a potential candidate for future flights. Ship 26, resembling an engineering pathfinder, Booster 4, which has yet to take flight, and now Booster 10 stands side by side. Several significant changes are notable between Booster 4 and Booster 10. The reinforcements on the common dome have increased, and notably, Booster 10 lacks the heat protection units HPUs seen on other boosters. Moreover, advancements in the hot staging ring itself have been swift. A clear view reveals that the old stand in which barely covered Raptors has been replaced with a more sophisticated stand. The scale of the hardware is further highlighted in an excellent view, showcasing the hot staging ring and the common dome installed inside to deflect the exhaust of the Raptors on the ship. After the third flight, SpaceX is expected to continue with sequential booster ship pairings. For example, Ship 25 will fly with Booster 11, Ship 30, Booster 12, Ship 31 with Booster 13, and so on. However, it's still unclear whether this sequential order will be maintained as SpaceX may be planning for ground test vehicles later. Meanwhile, the Starship spacecraft continues its relentless refinement. Ships 29 and 30 are currently in the high bay to complete their work while awaiting engine installation and stand installation at Sanchez. Ship 31 is resting in the rocket garden and is only waiting for a spot in the reopened high bay. Booster 12 has been moved to the working stand on the left at Mega Bay and will be ready for cryogenic resistant testing. Booster 11 has been in enhancement phase for almost a month as it completes engine work and other flight preparation tasks. Booster 13 is still awaiting new parts after the first part was removed for reasons unknown. Everything is being produced in a planned sequence, with ample time for the next variants always ready as the previous iterations take flight. But to be approved for the third flight, SpaceX will need to request a modification to the launch license, as Amendment 1 of License Number of Volume 23-129 for the second flight notes. The Orbital Flight Test 2 unless this license is amended to remove this restriction. Additionally, a risk investigation will be required before the next launch if there are any anomalies during the second flight. Ships from 28 to 32 share many similarities, although older ships may receive additional upgrades. Regarding the rocket boosters, boosters 10 to 13 show reasonable changes between them as SpaceX continues its upgrades. Of course, it's not just the hardware that's ready, but the launch site is also a bustling hub of activity, with progress and anticipation for upcoming milestones in the Starship program. First, the tank farm expansion is a prominent feature. The area is witnessing continuous work with plumbing, piping, and manifold enhancements in progress. The entrance to the launch area is undergoing significant changes, with the complete removal of the container wall and continued installation of horizontal tanks and corresponding pipelines. The current tanks were observed to be vented, indicating propellant filling in preparation for upcoming tests. This expansion aligns with SpaceX's commitment to ensuring the efficiency and capacity of the propellant storage and distribution systems, essential for powering the ambitious Starship missions. Besides, the orbital launch mount, a critical element in the launch infrastructure, is undergoing inspection, refurbishment, and repair in preparation for the next flight test campaign. In the past week, SpaceX replaced all 20 Super Heavy hold-down clamps on the orbital launch mount. Initially, it was assumed that the first replacement was due to damage from a previous rock tornado. Still, the fact that they needed replacing again suggests potential issues with attracting speed or strength to withstand the power of the 33 Raptor engines. It remains unclear whether the newly swapped clamps are upgraded in any way or if they're identical to the ones removed for inspection. The removal of components from the launch pad continues, with the removal of the booster quick disconnect hood and 2 flex hoses from the mechanism. While these could be for post-launch inspection, there's a possibility that they may need replacement. Though not heavily damaged, SpaceX is meticulous in detailed inspections, making continuous efforts to enhance and maintain a robust and reliable launch platform. Notably, there have been changes at the gateway to Mars, including a successful retraction test of the Starship quick disconnect arm and full raising of the chopsticks after post-launch work. These critical components play a pivotal role in supporting and handling Starship during various testing and flight stages. Remember, during the second test flight, there was a delay evident in the movement of the chopsticks arm. So this is an aspect that SpaceX needs to address for the next launch. This isn't just a pressing matter anymore. It's evolved into a grave situation where blame might not solely fall upon Starship. The gravity of SpaceX's predicament with federal regulators has intensified, plunging them into a legal quagmire surrounding Starship launches from South Texas. On December 15, the tension reached new heights as multiple environmental groups made a resounding declaration. They revealed the submission of a supplementary legal claim in federal court targeting the licensing procedures for Starship launches from SpaceX's Starbase site near Brownsville, Texas. This move comes after these organizations initially filed a lawsuit against the FAA in May, mere weeks following the inaugural Starship launch on April 20. In the latest legal outcry, a consortium comprising the Center for Biological Diversity, American Bird Conservancy, Carrizo Kamakura No Nation of Texas Incorporated, Save RGB, and Surf Rider Foundation has intensified the heat. They're accusing the Federal Aviation Administration of inadequately scrutinizing the environmental fallout from the initial Starship launch prior to greenlighting a revised license for the subsequent November 18 launch. This revised licensing process involved an environmental assessment by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, or the FWS for short, concerning a pad deluge system. The system, installed by SpaceX to avert damages akin to those suffered during the inaugural launch, was deemed by the FWS as having negligible environmental impact. However, these environmental factions contest that both the FAA and the FWS failed in their obligations under the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, to thoroughly evaluate the environmental consequences of Starship launches. They argue that the FAA overlooked the impacts of the Starship Super Heavy launch program by neglecting a supplementary NEPA analysis. Moreover, they assert that the FWS also fell short in its evaluation, focusing solely on the deluge system and neglecting the environmental repercussions of debris from the April launch. Despite the apparent success of the deluge system in preventing further pad damage, the environmental groups contend that this does not absolve the oversight in assessing broader environmental implications. Jarrett Margolis, a senior attorney at the Center for Biological Diversity, did not mince words in condemning this alleged negligence. He emphasized, failing to conduct a comprehensive environmental review and allowing SpaceX to continue launching colossal rockets, which repeatedly results in explosions, exhibits a shocking disregard for both wildlife and communities. Granting SpaceX unchecked freedom in utilizing this extraordinary area as a sacrificial zone is unacceptable. The group further contends that the FAA's decision to greenlight the November 18 launch was made without affording the public an opportunity to provide input, a glaring omission highlighted in their statement. This legal action takes aim not just at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, but also zeroes in on their alleged oversight regarding the aftermath of the April 20 explosion. The suit points fingers at the agency's failure to adequately address the repercussions of retrieving numerous fragments of concrete and metal from delicate tidal flat habitats. Moreover, it accuses the federal agency of turning a deaf ear to the excessive noise and vibrations stemming from the initial launch, citing reports that these disturbances far surpassed anticipated levels. Margolis, behemoth in his criticism, did not hold back in condemning the regulatory bodies involved. Regulators are recklessly gambling with one of the nation's most crucial and delicate habitats for migratory birds, he exclaimed. Their failure to conduct a comprehensive environmental assessment and allowing SpaceX to persist in launching these colossal rockets, which repeatedly result in explosions, demonstrates a shocking disregard for the well-being of wildlife and local communities. And that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and that's all for today's update. If you enjoyed watching and found it useful, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And if you want to support our channel and if you want to be up to date, you can become an exclusive member, so click on our perks through the link in the description below. Thanks to watching and see you next time. By the way, are you familiar Ipa-toktok Philippines app? Ipa-toktok is a delivery service app designed to connect more people by delivering items door to door. For more information, download the Ipa-toktok app, here down below.